Pete Carroll, energetic, spry, still going. Bob Glauber says the coach's media availability ended a long time ago. One guy is still going, and it is Pete Carroll. He's the guy who's acting like he's in his 40s, and Kyle's looking like the guy who's in his 70s. Here's Pete Carroll. It may have something to do with consumption last night. Here's Pete Carroll when asked if the team would consider still bringing in another veteran quarterback. We're still in the quarterback business, Pete Carroll said. Well, I should hope so. Drew Lock can't be the answer. Can't be. Cannot be the answer.
Yeah, I can't see that either. I don't. You know, I got to think at the end of the day, this is where I'm going to peg, Baker Mayfield. To me, that just makes too much sense. You threw it out day one. Team trying to prove, player trying to prove. It makes sense right there. That connection, let alone, hey, Drew Lock, we got talent. But you're right. You can't hang your hat on that. I couldn't. I mean, I don't know how you could trust it all the way. Bring Baker Mayfield in. You let him compete with Drew Lock. I would think he beats him out. But like we talked about, Drew Lock has some talent. If Drew Lock just totally balls out and is amazing, okay, then maybe you're on to something. But they got to be in the quarterback business. They can't be standing pat with Drew Lock, to your point.
We were big believers in Drew Lock when he came out of Missouri and fell to round 2, 42nd overall pick. And I remember that first game he played where he really got everyone's attention, December of his rookie year against the Texans. He was doing the Buzz Lightyear celebration, and he went off. But, he was injured for most of his first year, and it's been injuries and ineffectiveness, and he hasn't been able to stay at his ceiling. We've seen flashes of it, and it just hasn't worked. So you can't entrust the job to him post-Russell Wilson, and it's not going to be easy for anybody post-Russell Wilson. But that's why Mayfield makes sense, because he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. The team's going to have a chip on his shoulder. They're going back to square one in certain respects to where they were in 2010 and trying to build it out again. They've got the draft capital to try to do it. It's going to be on John Schneider to pick the right players and Pete Carroll to coach them up, but it can't be. It can't be Drew Lock. And maybe there is that sense, hey, if the 49ers cut Jimmy G, maybe the Seahawks would be interested. But like you said yesterday, based on what he's done against the Seahawks, why would they want him?
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't. And again, too, it's an offense that seems like they want to bootlegs and move the quarterback and do a little bit of that too. That's not necessarily Jimmy Garoppolo's cup of tea. I wouldn't think they'd go that way. Again, I don't think that's the greatest selling point for your fan base either, is, hey, we'll take the other team, in our division that's our rival. We'll take their throwaway, their garbage there. I don't see it going that way. If I'm them, I take a shot at Baker Mayfield. You could strike gold with Baker Mayfield. Like we've talked about, we've seen moments of going, damn, that's pretty good football play right there for the third, fourth week in a row. So there could be potential for, a real future there. And that's why I would take that chance. But like with you can't sell that. If Drew Lock is the starter in Seattle and they start out 1-5 and he's thrown 13 interceptions, John Schneider and Pete Carroll, that'll be it. You'll be done. The whole fan base is going to go, that's it. They're done. They've lost their minds and they can't run the organization and they'll be out of town. So they got to have something better than that following Russell Wilson, like you said.
Yeah, even if the divorce from Russell Wilson was inevitable and it was smart for them to do it now instead of next year by way of maximizing assets, they are on the clock. They have got to do something quickly to rebuild faith and trust in the fan base, or they will be gone.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know anything about Jody Allen's ownership style and how much she'll tolerate, and will she step in and do something. There was a report at one point last year she wasn't happy about the way things were going, but if they are disastrous this year, if they go 5-12, I fully expect it's reset button for 2023. It's going to be hard to convince ownership otherwise if the fan base completely checks out.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.